Hi, I'm Linda Carucci, and I'm delighted to have been invited back by Ollie to teach another cooking course. This Cooking by the Book course is based on four compelling cookbooks, you'll see them behind me, that were released in 2022. At the beginning of each class, I'll tell you a bit about the author's frame of reference and explain what I think are the distinctive features of the book. In the syllabus that's posted online, you can read about the class format, the exact titles and authors. And if you're needing help getting sleep, there's a lengthy, self-aggrandizing bio of yours truly. As we're taping this little promotional ditty today, it's mid-July. I've been busy testing recipes from each of the four chosen cookbooks. And with each recipe I test, I ask myself four questions. One, does the recipe use ingredients that will be in season this fall? Two, are there some distinctive cooking techniques or flavor combinations that are worth demonstrating or discussing in class? Three, is it worth the time it takes to prepare the recipe? And four, finally, this is really important, does the result taste so delicious that I want to make it again? You can imagine what fun I'm having this summer, all in the name of research. So why would you want to take a cooking class online? What are the benefits? I've been teaching cooking classes online for Ollie going on 3 years. On average, we have about 60 students Zooming in live for each class, not to mention the other 50 or so who've registered for the course and watched the classes later on via recordings. I'm really grateful for the feedback I've received from the hundreds of evaluations all these students have completed and returned. Overwhelmingly, what students say they appreciate most in these classes I've taught are the professional cooking tips, tricks, and explanations that I incorporate into each class. Whether it's the stuff that you don't necessarily learn from a book, whether it's the explanations of how and why something works in the kitchen, or what knife I'm using and why, or how to select the best cut of meat or an avocado that's not going to be brown when you cut into it. Starting last term, I began to include a new feature among my course handouts. Each week, I type up a list called Ingredients and Equipment Featured in Today's Class, which is posted for you a few days before each class, along with the recipe handouts. I started preparing these lists so you wouldn't have to take time during class to use the chat feature to type in your questions about the tools and products I'm using. This allows you and me more time during class to focus on those treasured tips and techniques. As we all know, Ollie is a community of learners. That means we don't just show up for a class, take in new information from a stooge on the stage, and leave. In this spirit of community, or as this spirit of community plays out in our cooking classes, the Zoom chat feature does play an important role for members who attend class live. When someone has a question about what I've just demonstrated, she'll type it into the chat box. And when someone wants to know a suitable substitute for an ingredient, he'll type that question into the chat box. During each cooking demonstration, whenever we have a break in the action, my trusty sidekick, who's sitting off camera, is able to scroll through the chat box and let me know what's on your mind so I can respond then and there. And when a specific question goes beyond the scope of my knowledge, such as what variety and brand of non-dairy product would you substitute for milk in this recipe, we can ask the class to weigh in with suggestions. And again, we'll be using the chat feature. As I see it, this is one of the great benefits of our learning community. Being with a group of people united by a common interest who are able to share resources based on personal experiences. Bonds are established and the spirit of community is enhanced. I assure you, as an educator, when this happens in my classes, it's absolutely delicious. Thank you for considering taking Cooking by the Book new releases. I do hope you'll join me in the kitchen this fall. Thanks.